Hey guys, this is the What Happened to Brenda Condon wrap-up video. We will discuss the first 5 videos, the suspects, and we will determine what actually did happen to Brenda Condon. Let's get into it. 3 months ago, a friend of mine came up to me and said, "You like mysteries?" I said, "Yes, as a matter of fact, I do." And they said, "Well, you should look into Brenda Condon. You may find it fascinating." As a matter of fact, Ken Maines is doing a series on Brenda Condon right now. It's her 33 years of her going missing. 33 years. Wow, it's quite a long time. So I came home and I got on YouTube. I looked up Ken Maines. Ken Maines was doing, as she said, a YouTube series on Brenda Condon. And from there, I was captivated by the story and what actually happened to Brenda Condon. So I did my research and I decided to do my own investigation because I wanted to know what happened. Let's review this 3-month journey, guys. Okay, let's get back to episode 1. If you recall, I interviewed a woman by the name of Marie. Now, Marie knew of the older gentleman in the sketch, and we're going to listen to a little clip of her talking about that gentleman right now. Let's get into that. Tell me about it.
So I went to the bar that was Carl's Bad Tavern when it was Spectators. I went there all the time, and I would also go down the road into Zion to a place that was called Michael's Tavern. And there was something that I think is a little strange now that I'm older and think about it. The pictures that were in the newspaper, there was 3 suspects. The one in the middle resembles a man who used to come into those bars every evening, probably from maybe anywhere from 10 o'clock to 11, 11:30 or midnight. He always wore dark blue, kind of fitted like Dickies work jacket without a name on it. It had a zipper, and he wore dark blue like work pants, almost like a factory thing, like maybe he had worked at Ciro or Sapelco or one of those places over there, which if they had 3 shifts, he could have rotated out at that time of night,
Right.
frequently. And I remember I was pretty social when I was young, so I did try to talk to this guy. But there was always something that creeped me out because he never really wanted to socialize with anyone, not even men. He didn't really drink. He never got anything to eat, but he just observed everyone all the time. But I think over the years, because I saw him so many places, I would even see him at the Doty Hotel in Bellefonte. I would see him all around in that area over there, just walking around the bar and staring at everyone. And there was always something about him that creeped me out because he never really made much eye contact. He was just very into watching everyone.
Okay, this guy may have been odd or a little antisocial, but that certainly does not make him a killer. Although he was one of the last people to leave the bar, he left with a few other individuals. They got in their vehicle. He got in his vehicle. He started his vehicle, and the people in the other vehicle left. So he was still in the parking lot whenever they left. So could he have come back into the bar? Maybe. Maybe not. But you got to remember, Ron was still sitting at the bar. So the likelihood of this individual being the offender is not very likely. Okay, guys, the next suspect, in which he's already been exonerated, was Mr. James Cruz. Now, James Cruz had murdered a 17-year-old girl by the name of Dawn Marie Birnbaum, and her body was discovered not far from Carlsbad Tavern. Now, in episode 2, we discussed Mr. Cruz, and this is a clip from episode 2. Okay, for those of you that are unfamiliar with James Cruz was a long-haul truck driver that killed a 17-year-old girl that he considered a lot lizard by ligature strangulation in Center County, Pennsylvania. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole on March 13th, 1994. Now, this was 3 years after Brenda Condon went missing. And her body was the 17-year-old girl by the name of Dawn Marie Birnbaum was found between Route 26 and 550 of Pennsylvania, not far from Carlsbad Tavern. I think that's why he's considered a suspect by a lot of the locals. And the state police did their due diligence and ruled out that he can't be linked to any other murders or disappearances. So he's doing time in the state pen. After they arrested Mr. Cruz, they put together this task force and coordinated an effort to try and prove that James' involvement in the unsung string of murders in the area, that he had some involvement, but they couldn't prove it. Now, the next suspect is Ron. Now, Ron is a dark-haired gentleman in the sketch. Ron is also the last man to be seen speaking to Brenda. He is also the man that was at the bar after everyone left the bar. So Ron is suspect number 1. Ron was the last person to see Brenda Condon alive, as far as we know. So let's get into a little bit about Ron in this clip. And Ron would frequent the bar at night. Ron would hang out at the bar, drink, and flirt with this bartender. And this was on a daily basis. And this woman recognized Ron from the sketch. And she had an encounter with Ron one night where Ron was able to get her into his room. And Ron's been trying to get her into his room for a little while, but I guess this night she decided that she'd be willing to partake. And she said that during their intimacy, Ron proceeded to choke her from behind. Okay, in episode 3, we discussed the possibility that Ron had taken Brenda up to Snowshoe after he had taken her life down in Carlsbad Tavern, and he possibly had buried her with that excavator. Now, you remember the excavator had been moved overnight. The crew discovered that the following morning when they went to work. Did Ron possibly take Brenda and bury her up in Snowshoe? Her body has still never been recovered. Okay, guys, in episode 4 of the Paranormal Perspective, we went looking for Brenda Condon at Greg's Snowcat, Cal State College. Now, were we able to find Brenda Condon's spirit? No, we weren't. I do believe we did encounter some other spirits that had their opinions about what happened to Brenda Condon, but nothing has been able to be confirmed. So we left that location and we went back to the scene of the crime, Carlsbad Tavern, which is now known as Robin Hood Brew, by the way. And we went behind Robin Hood Brewery, and I used dowsing rods in my spirit box, and I went looking for the spirit of Brenda Condon. Now, I asked questions in regards to her disappearance and who was solely responsible, and I did get the name Ron, and I got an orb that I do believe is the spirit of Brenda Condon, and the spirit voice was able to confirm that. Now, I did get several voices of a female, and I do believe the very last one to be Brenda Condon. In my opinion, I feel it in my heart and soul that that is Brenda Condon. I cannot confirm all of the women's voices to be her, but the last one, I feel it in my heart that that is indeed Brenda Condon, and she is happy. So as far as the court of law, Ron is innocent until proven guilty. Now, do we have enough to convict Ron? Absolutely not. But in the court of public opinion, I believe that most people do believe that Ron is the offender that made Brenda Condon disappear, and ultimately he took her life behind Carlsbad Tavern at the time. And he took her body, and I believe he took it to Snowshoe, and he got that excavator and he buried her somewhere up in Snowshoe, Contrary Run. Now, I did go to Contrary Run looking for Brenda. I used the spirit box and the dowsing rods. I was unable to contact Brenda. I believe the reason being is because her spirit is at Carlsbad Tavern and that field behind Carlsbad Tavern. I do believe that's her final resting place, and anybody that wants to question and debunk my results can go do their own investigation there and see what kind of results they get. I don't fake any of my investigations, so you should be able to prove that everything's legit if you decide to go there and do your own investigation. Now, I hope the family goes and visits Brenda, because I do believe that she would like her family to come visit, if you saw the short that I released. So hopefully this wraps up this whole investigation as far as finding closure. And for all that watched and supported these videos and this channel, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys. This used to be a cornfield in 91. Brenda, are you happy now? Are you in a good place?